What's the deal, man? RJ Lamont in the building, and shout out to the motherfucking streets.
It's love, Joe.
Sure, baby.
Shout out to the streets, man. We putting on for the whole meeting.
Real shit.
Oh yeah, you already know that's for the streets, man. That's number one though for the streets. Real for the streets. You know what I'm saying? We in the streets. Shit came for the streets.
Shout out for the streets, you know what it is, man. Locked in, man.
Go follow this nigga too, man. Y'all gotta go follow this nigga. And big shout out to the motherfucking for the streets, niggas. That's all we doing it for. Only do it for the street. Hey, hold on. Niggas don't think we careful. Niggas think no one's in here. We not signed to none of that shit. Niggas only rapper. Flint too.
Flint, Michigan, the new hub for this shit, man. Y'all niggas better get with this shit or get lost.
You gotta know it.
It's love.
I love it.
What's the motherfucking business, Joe? For the streets, back again. Let the folks at home know who we got on For the Streets today, OG.
What up? My name Marlon, Mo B, Synergy Records, Enrgy's father.
Definitely. Now tell these motherfuckers what city and state you from.
I'm from Beecher, Michigan, right outside of Flint. So, right, but outside of Flint, I'm gonna say I'm from Flint. So, might as well say Flint, Michigan.
Okay, for sure. Now can you tell me the biggest difference between being Enrgy Beats manager and his father?
For me, the motivation the same. The only difference is I have to respect him like he my client, so I can't do nothing without his approval. So I can't tell him nothing. You know, I gotta ask him. So like, I might have some ideas, share with him. He say no, that's that. I can't, I can't make him do nothing. But it's kind of like how our relationship is anyway at this point. He a grown man, so I can't make him do nothing anyway. You know what I'm saying? For that matter. So it's the only thing I say like that's really different is I just really be working. Really be working for him. So it's a real job. So a lot of it's crazy. The motivation and the passion that I put in to represent him, I learned that I got to share this with other producers. So that's what I've been doing. He kind of like been like a template, a template that I use and apply it to helping everybody else. Because it's like by default that I had to manage him because, he needed what I knew, and I really needed to do it. At first I wasn't. It was just after that Legendary drop, that's when I said, okay, these numbers going up. Somebody got to jump in and try to, get his. I tried to, set him up and so he can do it on his own, manage his own self. But he was so focused and driven on producing that he never took the time out to set up his publishing and set up his website. I showed him how to do it
behind the scenes.
But he never
too busy.
So I said, okay, wait. I call him. You should do this. You should do that. Nope, I ain't do this or do that. Okay. Well, I start doing it. You know what I'm saying? About a year ago today, I started doing it around Thanksgiving last year. I started managing.
Okay, Shout out to you for, stepping in when you know he needed what you knew, saying?
No doubt.
Now, on top of being father to one of the hottest young producers in the world, definitely the hottest in Michigan, you big homie to a lot of diamonds that got carved out the dirt in the city of Beecher. YSR Grams, Crispy Life Kid, YNJ, just to name a few. How do you feel when you see all your youngins making major strides with this music shit, and what hope did that give you for y'all city?
With all them names, like, I love them. Like, I love them. I love their families. And actually, we are family in a roundabout way. YSR Grams and my stepsons are cousins, and also Y&J. They are family. So literally, they are literally family. I'm around their family at certain family functions. So it's way more than music with me. So a lot of stuff that I might help them with is just off the strength. Like I watched them all grow up. So for the most part, this what I would be doing anyway. Like, you know, it ain't just me either. It's a whole bunch of me's that's out here doing the same thing for them. That, you know, and we all get together a lot of times and figure out, you know, they see
best thing for them type shit.
Yeah, so they see a lot of the other OGs. They see what I'm doing, like really in, and so like really, I'm building out what I'm trying to build out really for them to jump in, so they can have a formal role too. Because a lot of us, you know, we was doing what they doing back in our day.
Right.
So like we got a lot of insight on the game. It's just nowadays the technology different. So I went to school and I got a degree in software. So a lot of like how I help them now is just off of me understanding the technology. So I'm not just an OG that's trying to be down, and you know, I actually know some stuff. So like everything that I do for Enrgy, like building his website, managing his YouTube, managing his website, setting up his publishing, just connecting the dots all the way around with this business, you know, going to find the lawyers, the accountants, you know, and knowing how to navigate the technology. So a lot of that I offer to everybody, you know. So I'm not just the big homie that, you know, that used to rap, you know what I'm saying? I'm actually, you know, technically I'm trained, you know, I have a degree, you know, so I know my stuff. But like I said, I love them, so I share my stuff with them out of love. You know, it's not necessarily a business move. But me and Enrgy do have a company together, Synergy Records, that we building out to where, you know, when time comes, we can actually have our own brand as far as on the record label side. But that's not the important thing right now. It's just really keeping his sound out in front. Make sure you're getting them placements, or creating placements, I should say. And a lot of it is just making sure the production is the priority. And then, you know, as far as the artists go, like I said, they off and running. A lot of them, they know what they're doing. I get behind them because they know what they're doing, especially really all of them. They all got a different way of handling their business, and I just support them all, really, for the most part.
Got to. Now, I know you personally taught Enrgy how to make and construct beats. How old was he the first time he completed a beat by himself fully?
Man, he had to have been about... that's crazy. Man, dang. I wish I probably did record it. I lost some of my tapes that I had back in the day. But, man, he had to have been about 3-4 years old. You know, maybe just a basic snare and kick, you know, as far as, but a real intricate, like, beat, I would say maybe 6 or 7. He sold his first beat when he was like 6 or 7 years old. And that was to an artist by the name of Lyric the Queen. She from Flint too. And she probably don't even remember because it was her uncle that bought the beat and they recorded in my studio. But yeah, he I would say like around 6 or 7 when he really got nice to the point to where like I knew he was on to something.
Undeniable. Yeah, I feel it. Now, any advice you want to give to the youngest that's wilding or got it rough in Beecher&Flint or any hood in general?
Man, I'm a spiritual dude, right? Like, you know, I understand who we really are. Like, not no boys in the hood or nothing like that. I understand we're people made in God's image. So I believe we can manifest our visions. I believe we can create our own reality. I believe this music is part of it. You know, I used to write, and I still do write. So I believe you can write your life. You know, you can speak something into existence.
Definitely.
You can speak life, or you can speak death. So it's really what you want to do, what you want, life or death. You know, if you Mo 3, you know, rest in peace to Mo 3, rest in heaven to him. You know, and King Von, rest in heaven to him too, rest in heaven to FBG Duck, rest in heaven to all of these fallen soldiers. You know, I'm gonna say this much: you can speak your death into existence. You can speak your life into existence too. It's that simple. You can write down how you want to be you know, in the stocks like Nas did. Nas said that on one of his songs on his first album.
Right.
You know, investments in stock, sewing up rocks of silk, winning gunfights with megas. But just the, you know, that's from New York State of Mind.
Right.
First song on Nas's first album. He spoke about investments in stock. Now, and today, he has a firm that invests in companies. He has a lot of stock. He got a good portfolio. And he spoke that into existence.
Right.
So that's just an example, you know, on the good side. You know, it don't. If all you have is negative examples like FBG Duck and Mo 3 and all them speaking death, you think that, oh, that's the only way that it worked, but it worked the other way around too. If you want a good, healthy life, you want to live a long time, you want to be here for your family, your kids, your siblings, you know, everybody that you really care about, speak life. It all starts with the tongue. The tongue is powerful. Definitely. So that alone, man, and just knowing the truth about who you are, don't let nobody tell you who you are. You know, like, we really something that really can't be described. We more than we God in the flesh. That's what we are. We God in the flesh, literally. It's nothing more, none less. That's it. So what that meant, all that really means is possibilities are endless. There's nothing, no person that can define you. Like, you are undefined. So with that being said, man, that's it. I mean, tap in, y'all. Stay tapped in, man.
Now, what was the first song Enrgy produced that sold, if you can remember? If not, just let me in on how old he was the first time that he sold the beat.
Like, that's about 6 or 7. But he didn't sell no more beats until he was about, I say about like last year, really, 18, 19. He didn't even know what to sell it for. Like, Daddy, how much you think I should sell? I was like, man, you got to set your own price. What you think, you know. It's up to you what you want to sell it for. But I helped him out because I set the website up for him, and so we came up with a price. I think it was $50. $50 for a lease, and then like $300 to buy it or something like that. It was somewhere in there. So first beat, I don't know. And then a lot of times he don't even charge, you know, to like people he feel like gonna bless his beats. He just
throw it at him.
Yeah, you know, that's really what he was all about.
That's more exposure.
He gave them away. Like, he gave away lots of beats. You know, not to everybody, but to the ones he felt like could compliment his sound. He wanted them on that, you know, boom. So, you know.
Now, as an OG in your area, how did the Flint, but more so the Beecher area, change from era to era?
Well, my era, the sound wise, our sound wise was like, I say 3 different broke down 3 different sounds. You know, we had our initial sound was the Breed, like Breed, MC Breed. He hit so big that, you know, and then he kind of had like what they call the G-Funk sound. He sampled Roger Troutman. Yeah, more bounce to the ounce. So that was like a West Coast staple. So that's kind of like how our sound really was automatically attached to the West Coast because they sampled it. Also the East Coast was a group by the name of EPMD had sampled that too, more bounce to the ounce. They actually all clicked up in Atlanta at one point in time. And, you know, East Coast, Midwest, West Coast. So, and all that came through Breed. So, but then the Dayton family came not too much longer after Breed. Their sound ended up capturing our whole little area. And then, you know, we had a bunch of, like John Connor, he was one of our pioneering, you know, artists that just broke out, got with Dr. Dre Aftermath, and his sound was just like hip hop, like classic hip hop lyrics, dope delivery, everything that you want out of a great artist. So his it was like really more so his artistry, but he a producer too. A lot of people don't know that John Connor a producer too. So he actually one of the dopest producers I done heard from our city. And then
shout out John Connor.
Yep, no doubt. Shout out John Connor. Then you had a group called Bone Scandalous. They sound to this day one of the biggest records ever as far as my generation go. Killers on Your Team. Like man, like when that blew up, like it was something else. So yeah, so like I think the biggest impact from my era would have been that Dayton sound. You know, shout out to TDF, you know, Ira Dorsey, Raheem, and Matt Hinkle. You know, they to this day, they presence is felt. You know, it's all hats off to them. Like they still, you know, gotta, you know, cast a big shadow over the city. You had producers like Science, he from Beecher. Science got a sound that he attached with Jay-Z. He actually co-produced Hollywood on Jay-Z's Kingdom Come record album. So yeah, so he a Grammy Award winning producer. So then you have producers like B Quarter, who produced a lot for Currency, trademark the Skydiver, you know, that whole movement. And then you got Benji and B Quarter. They had a group alliance called Foreign Allegiance, and they produced for Big Crit. You know, so like they, you know, a lot of these sounds, they were like big in the industry, but they wasn't distinct to the city. You know, except for Dayton family. Dayton, that sound was the Dayton sound.
Right.
So it never quite lent itself to the whole city. It was just like they hood sound, but it was so big it caught on all over the world. But a distinct Flint sound that everybody got their hands on, this is the first time I seen that. You know, because the sounds, you had groups like Project Born, they was from the project, so they had a distinct sound. You had groups like Operation 263 that, you know, they had a lot of people that was from Beecher. And we had a producer by the name of Willie Buck, producer by the name of Villa Funk, Ronnie Jones. They created that sound, so that was like our little Beecher sound. So then you had the Dayton sound. The Dayton sound from my era was the biggest sound.
Right.
So it was like all like divided, you know what I'm saying, for the most part, from my era. You know, then you had DJ Clay, like he had a thing called Booming Records, so he had like a East Coast vibe, you know, coming out of his studio. You know, it was just a lot of different factions. But Enrgy's thing is different. Like, this is something that everybody can put on for. But what he do, I think, is different because he make a different type of sound for Crispy Life Kid. He make a different type of sound for rice or grams. He give you something different for like whack jumper, you know. Then it's something different with Coochie. A little bit different would be a Beat the Pac-Man, Free Joe Exotic. Just a little bit different. It's like he understand how to really produce and make a sound specific to each artist. So I think that was really what his gift, what he gave to the city and our culture and our sound, was to be able to make those, you know, differentiate. Them personalized
beats, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could hear it on everybody's track. Like, he definitely make a certain sound for certain niggas. Like, that shit crazy. Hell yeah. Shout out to Enrgy for that, man. That's crazy. It been real. Shout out for the streets for me, OG.
Shout out for the streets, man. Y'all gonna hear a whole lot more. And we about to really do some big things together, man. Appreciate you, Ty.
I appreciate you. Tap in with Enrgy Beats on all platforms. ASAP. Love, OG.
All right, one.